Hi, Julie Reynolds, Summervillehousewife. Where else am I going to be? Coastal Coffee Roasters, and I'm here with another great guest. Not guest, guest. And I'm going to let them introduce themselves.
Hello, hello. Hello, I am Jim Brantley with the Brantley Group. This is my wife, Sandra. And I like to think that we're real estate guides rather than a real estate agent because I really want to help owners and buyers find what's best for them. For instance, I had a lady who I helped buy a townhome recently over in Cane Bay a few years ago, and she came to me wanting to sell it. But, with talking to her, I just really needed to find what was right for her. And it actually turned out to be right to rent it right now. She's got a great interest rate. She's going to be renting in Bluffton for a year. And so she's actually going to cash flow more money that she can put towards a rent. We weren't going to be able to sell it quite where she wanted to, so why sell it? So, I just really try to help people find what's best for them as opposed to just helping people sell homes.
I'm Sandra Brantley, and I am his social media manager, marketing manager. I help out behind the scenes. And
She's my secret weapon.
Apparently. And I'm not an agent, but I love to just promote the homes and tell a story because everyone has a story. And that just really lets people know where they're going to live and what's around them. And it's very easy to do because I love Summerville. And that's just what I enjoy doing. And it's sweet.
Okay, we got to start a little bit from the beginning.
Okay.
How'd you meet?
So glad you asked. So this is fun. It's a Hollywood meet cute story. We met on the Paramount lot in Los Angeles. You want the long version or the short version? Huh?
Short version because we don't have time.
So she had already been in California for a couple of months.
Yeah.
I had finished up my senior year at Carolina. My junior year I had spent in California working in my internships in the industry. And so when I moved back out, drove 3 days straight. For like a week, I thought, what in the world had happened to me? Between sitting in the car for 3 days and then getting to the LA smog.
Yeah.
Then I called my last internship and I got a job over the phone, which was on a TV show. You can find it on YouTube, Special Unit 2. It sounds like it's a Law and Order, but no, it's some goofy sci-fi show for UPN. So I start, and she's working in the production office in the basement of the May West building. I work a soundstage over above ground in the post-production. I'm a post-production assistant. She's a production assistant. And so
Lunch coordinator. Go on, sorry.
we started interacting in the office, and I had a signet ring that my dad had given me. I had class ring on my left hand, and a signet ring on my right. But
Thought he was married.
It would flip around and it looked like a band. And so a lot of people don't realize that production is almost like a construction site between the electricians, the carpenters, teamsters, and all that. And so she had all these old married guys hitting on her in the basement when they came to pick up their checks. And so I gave her a hug one day because her boss was being super mean. And she's like, he doesn't seem like that kind of guy. So what did you do?
I looked up his emergency contact, and it was his dad.
Because she had access to the start paperwork. She filed the start paperwork. So
I said, I'm going to flirt with him, and I'm going to ask him if he'd like to do something. So I asked him out.
Yeah, she loves to say she asked me out for, well, I don't know, I guess technically.
He had plans.
You be the judge. So
he had plans. He said, but I have plans, but when I get back, would you like to do something? And so he thinks he asked me out. Tell us what you think. And that was 26 years ago.
Yeah, and then we were just friends for a little while,
Yeah.
but then it, obviously we were dating and never looked back.
Yeah.
So Hollywood meet
26
cute
years,
story.
23 years married, 19 years back here.
Congratulations on all those happy years together.
Thank you.
Tell us about how the business got started and how this works together.
Okay.
Well, so that goes to kind of some of the histories. I'm born and raised here. She's from Chicago, suburbs of Chicago. But when we got married, we still worked in film and TV for a couple of years in LA. And then it wasn't a strike, but a lot of the production work was going to Canada, Australia, New Zealand, actually, funny enough, to South Carolina and Georgia, North Carolina. And so the jobs had really dried up. And we've been married a couple of years, and I'm working temp jobs. I'm working at our church in security and maintenance, just trying to make a living. And it's like, gosh, it's time to start thinking about babies. And this is before the market crash, funny enough, before I got into real estate. And so our little 1,000 square foot, 1 bedroom, 1 bath condo unit would have cost us almost $400,000 to purchase, and that wasn't happening with the temp work.
Yeah.
And so the family had been asking us for years to come back and help with Atlanta Bread. our family had 2 Atlanta breds, one over near Trident Hospital and one on North Main Street, which is now the Roper Urgent Care. Yeah, next to Walgreens and at Berlin G. And so we moved back and worked in the restaurant for 10 years. Yeah. And then it was just time, Atlanta Bread, they were losing a lot of stores across the country, so food costs were going up. And then it was time to renew the franchise, and they were requiring a massive, massive remodel. So by the end, it was close to $400,000 to go another 10 years. And after 10 years, she ran marketing for both stores. I was the GM for the Summerville store, a stint where I did both stores for a couple of years. And it was just like, I physically, I was like, I can't do this another decade. So we decided to close it down, and we still get Maggie Cleveland. Yeah. We still get comments
Chicken
like, "Where's my
salad?"
chicken salad?" Or, we miss you guys, which is wonderful. I mean, this is 11 years later, and we still get comments about Atlanta Bread, which is a real honor. But it was just time to do something different. And my pastor, I was looking to get into pharmaceutical sales because we dealt with so many of them with catering. I thought, that should be a good way to support the family. Was kind of slowly trying to break into that when my pastor was like, you ought to look into real estate. You got the right personality for it. And I was like, oh. We had a little brokerage across the parking lot that I had never even considered it as a way of making a living. So I started asking them, and then I talked to Dickie Myler, crazy nice, and he was super nice. And I give him big credit because he even said, we're not the right place for a new agent. You should talk to Ralph down at Agent Owned. And I happened to join a team with Larry and Kathy Mazzolatis. And I think it was about 6 years with Agent Owned before we ended up on our own. And she actually simultaneously got a real estate job, not a licensed job, but tell them what you got.
I worked at Summers Corner for about 5 years, doing marketing, event planning, sort of things like the first friend in the neighborhood. So we sold the lifestyle by, creating events and just meet and greet and sharing the overall concept for it was a new master plan community, and it was great. We still see a lot of people. We've sold homes with some of the first residents there, and it was ideal. It was really great. I really enjoyed it, and then I went from full-time to part-time to full-time at home, and so we've been doing that. It's about 8 years now.
It got going well enough with just my side on the real estate that we were able to bring her home to work on our team for the marketing and behind-the-scenes paperwork and whatnot.
It's been a blessing.
But yeah, I mean, it's kind of neat because we both ended up in real estate immediately afterwards. Again, hers wasn't licensed, but she was selling the neighborhood. There's so many people in that neighborhood who still love her. She did such a great job. She was selling the vision of Summers Corner and the lifestyle, and she was very good at it.